Hello everyone, welcome back to your daily tarot and astrology. So tarot's first, of course, and I'm tuning into Monday, March 31st, and asking what is it that we need to know for the day? What would be the most helpful for our soul growth, for our physicality, for spiritual growth, all of it. It's all the same, right? But it's nice to have the mundane little details come in here and there. Okay, right there. Ooh, Ace of Cups. Okay, so this is any water sign person, but, you know, we can all relate to the feelings of going deeply and opening your heart. And then we have the Lovers. Ooh, you guys are going to have to let me know. Put it in the comment. Did anybody have a new relationship going on? Or are there relationship struggles? Or, with Five of Wands, or could it be a new choice that is needing to be made because you are no longer struggling with constructive attitudes versus destructive attitudes when it comes to love relationships? And I say that because we had this card, I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? Pretty sure. Yeah, so anyway, no matter what, on any level, whether we're talking mundane decisions about relationship or big, broad spiritual or long-term relationship, it's all about relationship with ourselves. And if we love ourselves and keep our hearts open to loving ourselves more and loving others more, because we really can't love anyone else until we love ourselves. You know, when we love ourselves, then we can put ourselves in other people's shoes and understand what it's like for them. And then there's no more struggle. Now, sometimes with the Five of Wands, it's about competitive types of relationships, and maybe there's someone out there that needs to hear the message that you don't need to have contrariness in your relationship. Some people, the only way that they have connected with their parents has been through, you know, or maybe they didn't have the connection they needed with parents, and then they got it from their siblings and friends, and it was all about just being contrary all the time, arguing, trying to be one up on the other. That's what I get when I'm feeling into the Five of Wands. So finding new types of relationships that veer away from that will make your heart feel much, much better. So, okay, let's look at the astrology. There we go. And you can see that the moon is here in Taurus at 9 degrees. This is at 5 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern, and adjust to your time zone, of course. But at 9 degrees of Taurus, this is, you know, we're just about done because it's 9 degrees, 53 minutes. You know, within 15 minutes or so, it's going to be at 10 degrees, and we're done with that developing foundations, but I think most of us have slept through it. So for us, we're going to wake up, probably. Let's do it this way. Let's just scooch it an hour, and we're at 10 degrees, 10 and a half degrees there, at 6 a.m. And at this juncture, we're in the lessons stage. We're learning something. So in Taurus, the something may be about things that you value more than you knew you did. Maybe it's a new sense of being very faithful to your own internal principles. Maybe you're feeling more grounded. When the moon's in Taurus, you know, every month we have two to 2.5 days of the moon being in Taurus, and it's always an opportunity to remember how much we really do need to be grounded and to be in peace. You know, that's the life task of any Taurus person out there, is to find groundedness and peacefulness. So there are lots of ways that we can do that. We can be in nature. We can As you can see with the connection here up to Ceres, we can hang out with our fur babies and animals, and I mean, just taking care of them is a grounded act that usually brings us into some peacefulness. And then because we have this sesquisquare over here to the south node, and the south node, damn, I'm having trouble with Mercury retrograde. The south node being in health-related Virgo, we may be learning more and more about, having detours come in, because we're learning more about what we can eat and what we can't, what we can drink and what we can't, and making those adjustments. But it's more of a disruptive type of an adjustment, because Taurus, and the moon being in Taurus, both actually. The moon is about our body and soul, and it's also about the mood that we're in. Taurus is all about the body. We come in here at with Aries. It's like, just think in terms of I'm here, and then it's like, oh, I have a body. Oh my gosh, and then you're thinking, right? With Gemini, you're thinking and you're trying to communicate, because damn, I've got this body, and if you cry, hopefully mom comes, right? And then when we get to Cancer, it's like, okay, if we've been taken care of by our parents with the body and the communication of any type, there are so many different types of communication, then we're nurtured, right? And if all that happens, then we understand that we have ourselves that we can express. We have this this is like the stages of development with a child. We can express who we are. We have our creative self-expression. And then, in Virgo, we're fine-tuning and we're making distinctions, and we have relationships to help us, and we have intimacy issues to go through as we grow and develop, and then we move forward with our own voice, hopefully, and then we have something solid to commit to and be with in the public world, public sphere with Capricorn. And with Aquarius, we have all our friends that we network with. And in Pisces, we have our spiritual foundation to develop. So that's pretty much the way it goes around. So that juncture in Taurus is super important, because if we don't have stability and groundedness, we won't have the security that we need. If we don't have security and stability, you cannot grow, right? That's the deal. You can't build on a foundation that's not there. It's always going to fall down. So we have to have really strong principles. We don't like getting stuck. We don't like feeling pushed or rushed when the moon's in Taurus. We're in self-preservation mode a lot of times, or we're well beyond that, and it's a day for massage. It's a day for maybe looking around online for some yummy recipes that you can, learn about and develop, and actually cook them when they're in Cancer. Although any Taurus or Cancer is just lovely to hang out with, because they're usually really good at cooking. So, other than that, the backdrop is still the same. We have a lot of, I don't know if we call it intense, but there's just a lot of energy between Mars and Cancer moving forward in ways that help us become more secure and have more protection for our family. This is also, politically, people are looking at what we have, and we don't want to be victimized over here with the Piscean energy. Mercury and Venus is still, there's retrograde together, talking and hooked up with the North Node. Look how Venus is exactly right there, conjunct the North Node. So it's the power of the women. And thank you guys for the comments. You guys have been letting me know, and I try to remember to pin them at the top of the comment section. You've been letting me know when protests are happening. So I thank you for that so much. So yeah, other than that, the sun is at the degree also, in the second decan with the moon, except it's, in Aries. So Aries is about forging forward, trusting your instincts, going for your independence and your autonomy, not abandoning yourself, trying not to be impulsive. But, we fail. It's okay. That's how we learn, we grow. It's no big deal. At some point, you'll wait to respond. You'll learn the hard way like I do. So, not to worry about it. But it's just that both the sun with the spotlight on the need for independence and the moon with the spotlight on, women's reproductive rights, Taurus and Scorpio are within that realm, and finances and that we share with others are both, that's in that same polarity. The message here is that we're all learning more and more about what's really going on in government, and a lot of people in government are in the frick around and find out phase because they're learning their lessons. So I think that politically that's a lot, that's going to be on the table a lot today. We have all these semi-squares going on here, hooking up with the North Node and Venus. So yeah, it's all about women, and it's all about rights, and it's all about gathering the facts from the past and forging new opportunities. Because Mars and Uranus are really tight in orb, and that is it's going to be that way for the next several days. So yeah, okay, well that's it for today. Sending you big hugs as always. Take good care, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.